Charlie Kirk, a beloved father and husband and a devout Christian, and someone who was not afraid or ashamed to stand up for what he believed in, especially believing in Jesus Christ. That was literally his fundamental foundation for anything he did. Even though he did have his political views and opinions, he challenged students to ask questions. He would go around to college campuses, and a bunch of students would just always ask questions, and he would always respond respectfully. But he would never shy away from always talking about Jesus, because that was really his root response. You can always have some kind of answer to really any question, but Charlie Kirk always managed to always have this way of bringing it back to Jesus, and I think that is really what was the biggest inspiration about Charlie Kirk, at least for me anyhow. And so today has been really heartbreaking. It's been hard to have spent hours on the phone and just watching social media. It has been absolutely overwhelming. I was practically glued to my phone. And then I just had to unglue myself because it just got too much. But that just, to me, I guess, says a lot, that I took that much time to constantly update myself. What is happening? What is going on? Did he make it? And that just means that a particular person had that much impact, not just for me, but worldwide. So for those of you that don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he was a big social media influencer, and he was a big advocate for Christian beliefs, and he was a big Trump supporter. And he was really just huge on freedom of speech. That was where his biggest platform was. He would go around and he would offer opportunities for people to ask questions. And he would debate students, adults, just whoever was willing to come up to that mic. He just did so well at it. And God really used him. And it's really hard to say goodbye. And so right now, I would say all of us that followed Charlie and supported him, right now we are definitely grieving with his family. But it's like we're not yet ready to say goodbye entirely, specifically for Turning Point. So Turning Point was what he created. That was his platform. And what he stood for, I think, is still alive. I don't think that we should entirely say goodbye to Charlie. I do believe that Charlie is in heaven, and I do think that everything he has done, God has used him. All of us are the body of Christ, and we have a role. God has given you a gift. God knows exactly what your talents are, how he's going to use you, and he knows exactly the right timing. And I really do believe that Charlie came in at a really specific time when there was so much in this world that was going on, especially with a lot of hot topics. And going down the list, I mean, talking about abortion, LGBTQ community, racism, problems with our borders. I mean, that was huge. I mean, you watch his videos, It was just constant. I mean, students would just always ask questions about that. What are your thoughts on the LGBTQ community? What about abortion? Or what are your thoughts on the border? What about this? What about that? And he never wavered. It was just absolutely incredible. And especially during a time period, it almost feels like recently we have been coming into this specific time where it's just become more and more aggressive. Like, these topics are just, you can't escape them. So God literally brought Charlie, and Charlie's voice, his just determination and tenacity and just his courage got him this far. I'm not gonna lie that when you are willing to fight for the kingdom of heaven, and I do believe that is what Charlie did. Many people obviously are going to word it differently. It's like, well, Charlie was a political speaker, or Charlie did this. Overall, he was a soldier. I mean, he was a fighter, and God used him in this way. So every day he knew that he had to go out onto the front lines. And when you are out fighting, especially with these particular things, talking about hot topics such as this, political and just even religious, you are kind of putting yourself literally on the front line for a possibility for something to happen. You get haters, you get angry people, and it's to be expected. But the fact that he didn't shy away at all, I mean, he just pushed on and pushed on and pushed on. That is what drives everybody else. That's what drives us to continue supporting him and watching him and thinking that is the kind of person that we need in life. And that's who we want to be like. We want that courage, or we want that bravery. And right now, I think we need to continue in that. I don't think this is the time to silence ourselves. I think, if anything, a lot of people might wonder, we've had so many issues with assassinations, so many, people are, whether it's an attempt or, even Trump, getting shot out, Trump getting shot at, and then now Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, and everyone's thinking, okay, it seems like my beliefs or my side or what I want to say or what I want to think, it seems to be a problem. So maybe I shouldn't really do anything. And I disagree. I think, if anything, this is an awakening. This should be even more of a push for us. I mean, it is very self-evident that the more we talk, the more of basically a rumble we create, and it's a healthy rumble. A lot of people might fear it because they disagree with it. That's kind of the cosmic irony in it all, because it stems from what Charlie actually stood for. And one of his biggest ones, if not his primary one, was freedom of speech. He would talk about it all the time. And I really agree with this. And I talk to people about this all the time. Freedom of speech is literally, it is the ultimate thing that everyone wants and everyone needs and has the right to have. The problem is, if you so believe it, then allow a person to have it. The problem is, the minute you start speaking and somebody else disagrees, there has to be some mutual respect in disagreement. Otherwise, one or the other, is going to say, okay, actually, I disagree with you and you're actually wrong and I hate you. And if communication does not exist, healthy communication, a healthy form of debate, which is what Charlie Kirk provided. He provided opportunities for anyone and everyone to come up to the mic and ask questions and debate him, and he would always respond so respectfully. If there is no communication in society, then we are lost. That is literally what he presented. And guys, that is very accurate. That is what is going on right now. No one wants to talk. No one wants to communicate because they think any form of communication is going to lead to argument, and then that's just never going to go anywhere. You will always have disagreements. It's ultimately the other side. It's trying to get to the other side past the disagreements. And you just have to get there. But you have to try. That's really all he was presenting is, at least I'm willing to try to communicate. I'm willing to understand. I'm willing to talk to you. I'm willing to debate. Everybody else is going to shy away and absolutely be afraid. And right now, guys, I really do not think that this is the moment for us to be silent. If anything, this is the moment for us, especially the Christian community, to stand up and say, no, we are not going to be silent. We are not going to be afraid. We are going to continue. We are going to persevere, because this is probably scaring some people. And if anything, it's only making me more determined. There are 3 things I know for a fact that Charlie Kirk stood by, and I think we could all learn from. And number 1, you already know, I said it was freedom of speech. Guys, the fundamental belief system of any human being is grounded in whatever they believe. If you don't believe in communication, all you're doing is just walking around is silent, and you're actually kind of lukewarm. You're people want to say, well, I'm neither this, neither that, so I'm actually kind of in a safe spot. You're really not. You're actually kind of doing more harm, because the reality is it's actually better for you to be an opposing side. That way you actually have an opinion and you can communicate, versus you kind of not having an opinion at all and just almost in some form or fashion almost looking stupid. Because when you are not being brave enough to actually make an opinion or even think for yourself, you're going to end up like a follower, and you might end up following something bad and wrong and being redirected in the wrong direction, such as society. And guys, this world is so temporary. We are only going to be here for a little bit. And even, aside from the world, guys, we are not promised tomorrow. So just recognize that. So with communication, Charlie Kirk used his ultimate foundation, and that was the Bible. Like, that's it. that was his foundation. He did talk about politics, and he would argue about other things, but he would always use the Bible. He never was afraid to say, like, guys, Scripture says this. And even if he didn't, it was just factual. And even after he based facts, like, murder is wrong. And if you don't believe that in a societal perspective, in the Bible it says murder is wrong. And if you don't believe that, then how about just a common sense, perspective? Like, that was just it. That was his foundation, is the Bible. And guys, we need more of that. Our foundation, we constantly need to remind ourselves that when we speak, how we present our belief, what is your foundation? What are you basing it off? For me, it's my beliefs. It is straightly and specifically Jesus. So I absolutely admire Charlie Kirk for absolutely using Jesus as his foundation. The second one, freedom of speech, he just made it such a constant reminder that the whole reason he did what he did was because he did believe there was a lot of problems in our society. And guys, there are, and there still is. And if you don't talk, then you are never going to get anywhere. So you have to start somewhere. And starting somewhere means opening up your mouth. It means starting with one opinion, one perspective. Doesn't always mean you're going to be right, and doesn't mean they're always going to be right. It just means you're willing to try. So the third one is he believed in love. I really do think, like, he loved everyone. Like, I really do think that his third belief is that he believed in people. Like, he was such a happy person. And I think that people kind of forget about that. They forget about love because the world is so dark right now, and there is so much that we see on a constant basis. It's kind of hard to love society. It's kind of hard to love people. It's hard to love nowadays. But Charlie loved like Christ. And that's what gave him the ability to fight for Christ. And I think that is absolutely amazing. And in my personal opinion, I don't think Turning Point is over yet. If anything, I think it has just begun. With everything Charlie Kirk has accomplished, I do believe Charlie's whole platform was literally a turning point for this whole generation. Anyone watching this you might disagree, but I have to say that generation after generation after generation, you cannot deny that we are getting to a point where certain generations are getting darker and darker and darker, and it's harder to reach them, and we are really having to fight for them. Literally, the church community talks about this, and I know for me personally as a Christian, when I look at the younger generation, I'm thinking, this is really hard for me to reach these, younger kids, because they are constantly believing in what social media says. They are believing in this and believing in that, and they are literally being pushed and pulled and fought over by society and the world. And that's just it. It's worldly things. It's the world trying to control them and take over them. Like, literally say, well, believe in us. Why do you have to worry about believing in God? You can't see him. He's not here, but we are. So believe in us. And it is so hard. So this is literally a fight, and that's what Charlie Kirk did. He fought for people, and we need to continue that. I do believe this is a turning point. I hate that we are where we're at today. Obviously in this, I hate to call it a historical day, but, just because sometimes even still thinking about it still feels almost impossible. But with Charlie Kirk, passing, it is literally like it has shaken this awakening in me of realizing I am not about to let Turning Point die. And I'm not going to give up on it. I'm certainly not going to give up on what he stood for. And I, for one, am not going to go silent. I'm not going to be afraid. I know that there will be, things and challenges that I will have to go up against, and that's to be expected. So persecution, guys, I very much, as a Christian, it's not news. When we stand up for Christ, when we stand up for our Heavenly Father, when we go into battle, guys, Ephesians is literally the entire thing. Charlie Kirk lived every single day through literally, with his armor on. So guys, we need to continue this. We need to continue putting on our armor, and we fight every single day, because it's constant and it's ever growing. So we can't allow fear to silence us. We need to be brave, be bold, and we need to allow God to use us and not be afraid. We are the hands and feet, so don't be afraid to let God use you in whatever capacity that he wants to use you in. Like, it could be really amazing. Like, you could make such a difference. And it's so evident. We have evidence right here. Charlie Kirk made such an impact, and God used him in this way. And I would really I think that's where I'm at. I'm not done with Turning Point. I'm not finished with the change. If anything, I'm ready to see it grow even more. And so my challenge for everyone is, number one, just keep praying for Charlie Kirk's family, but never forget this day. Never forget what his mission for God has done. He was obedient, so I'm asking you to be obedient. If God calls you to do something to make a difference, do not ignore that. Like, really jump into that. That is, to me, I find that to be an honor. When God calls you and picks you out specifically, that is incredible. So I am challenging everyone to continue to believe in Turning Point and make our voices and our stance count. We have that right. We have that freedom. So make it count for something. And with God on our side. So if God is with us, who can be against us? And that is just going to be my challenge for all of you, because I have spent all day trying to wrap my head around everything that has happened. And if anything, Charlie Kirk's entire life has given me that perspective. And I'm honored that I am now feeling that I'm not giving up. And I hope you won't either.